BN Plus Q&A episode, everyone. Rytis Vyšniauskas, Augustas Šuliauskas, Donatas URBONUS. We are here for bi-weekly episodes to answer your questions we received both on BN Plus community on WhatsApp group, one of our newest features where you can directly contact us and talk to us in some different topics. We had a trip last week to Monaco and Barcelona. We shared a lot of behind the scenes, which didn't make the final blog, which you can see on the YouTube. So I think I see Augusta smiling. So I believe it was worth watching, or no?
No, I'm thinking about the other situation that we don't want to address today.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like,
that makes us all smile.
I'm keeping it for myself.
Yeah. So you can all become BN Plus members on basketnews.com/plus to get many additional extra features, including this BN Q&A, this EuroBONUS Q&A episode, which will be public only, which entire episode you will see only as BN Plus members, and just some parts of the episode will be available on public on our YouTube channel. So yeah, we have some questions to answer, and just Luka Simovic, do you think Eastern Conference of EuroLeague will be less interesting than Western, and do you think EuroLeague must consider some changes for that kind of format? For example, 2 groups of 10 or 12 teams, we could have pots and decide with the draw which team would go in which group, something like Eurocup regular season, and then we would have playoffs. So before you start answering, I would put teams to West and East just for a quick reminder, or just to have a better picture. So at least geographically, Madrid, Baskonia, Barca, Valencia, Asvel, Monaco, Paris Basketball, London Lions, Milan and Virtus would play in West. And East would include Žalgiris, Red Star, Partizan, Efes, Fenerbahce, Maccabi, Panathinaikos, Olympiacos, Alba, Bayern.
For me, the East is more interesting because of all the derbies that you could see in this. I mean, the Istanbul derby, the Athens, the Greek derby, the Belgrade derby. I mean, as a EuroLeague fan, I like to see these in the group if I'm playing. But I don't know. Like, do you guys don't have a problem with this? I believe if EuroLeague goes to conferences, they should mix up in some kind of way, not geographically, because, Barca, Real, Valencia, and Baskonia are already playing the same games in the ACB.
At least 2 years.
So, I don't know. At the same time, I don't want to split these derbies into the other groups, but at the same time, I don't want all 4 Spanish teams in the same group, for example, because the importance then, it's. I don't think it's the same, because if you're playing Baskonia on Sunday and then on Thursday again, it's the same opponent, same team.
But that's the tricky part. What happened to exhibition games between EuroLeague teams and NBA teams during preseason? Last game that I remember was Real Madrid OKC Thunder, and I'm not sure if this is Mandela effect or not, but I remembered about a year ago or so that there were talks about Milwaukee Bucks coming to Greece to play against Pana and Olympiacos. Do you miss these games? I remember I was in that game. I was in Madrid for OKC Real game. They lost after the overtime. I mean, OKC lost that game. Sabonis was playing his first games for the OKC. There was that year with Westbrook, with Adams, without KD and stuff. So
Luka was playing against Russ.
Oh, exactly. That's true. Luka was playing,
and he was doing great.
I think so. I don't have any particular memories from that
or
game.
17-year-old Luka was playing against the next MVP of the league, who averaged triple-double that season.
It was a very high scoring game. Like, they scored over 140.
I don't know. To me, these games, preseason games, don't give that much, excitement. So I'm not really missing those games. But
I think NBA just doesn't see the market value anymore.
Sener S. What if Laso replaced Ataman in the beginning of the season?
The next season?
This season. Why should he?
But the question is, what if? So
yeah, okay, yeah.
FS continue to play winning basketball.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you guys think that if Laso would have replaced Ataman in the beginning of the season, FS now would have more wins than they do?
Maybe because if you're playing for a
you
new
said
coach,
what if, I'm saying.
you're trying to earn your role on the team, and maybe it gives you an extra motivation. Because with Ataman, everything was clear. You knew the roles, you knew what to do. With Laso, maybe you're not aware of what this coach might be thinking about you. Maybe I would see some difference, slight difference in their record.
No,
But
I'm out.
looking at long-term picture, I don't see a huge difference.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
I'm out.
Okay.
I don't have an opinion one way or the other.
Do you guys have an opinion if about Laso's? How do you see the match between Laso and Israel national team? This is the question by Eurozone Basketball. Regarding this ecosystem thing, I think that what makes this NBA league incredible is that how they managed to fill the calendar for the entire year.
That's like there's a story for 365 days going.
And that's how you
even
build
in-
a successful business,
Exactly.
making it relevant for the entire year.
Yeah.
You have the regular season, you have the playoffs, the finals, that's okay. But then quickly it turn into the offseason with the NBA draft, free agency signings, summer league, preseason, trade deadlines. It's like never stopping process. And that's what I miss in the EuroLeague. We don't have this trade deadline where everybody's anticipating that particular time of the year where you can make the last moves. We have some transfer deadlines and signing deadlines, but it's not hyped as much. And there's just the system works so differently that usually it's pretty boring deadline moment.
Exactly. EuroLeague is just about the 40 minutes of basketball. Like, you tune in on Thursday, you watch these 2 games or 1 game, and that's it. Then you wait for another game week.
I mean, during the trade deadline or the transfer deadline in football, for example, that day is like a sacred or special day for the fan of that league. You have shows going on all day,
24/7.
24/7 streams, and here in EuroLeague is just Thursday and Friday, and that's it. And on the transfer deadline, for example, from one EuroLeague team to the other, we don't fans don't even know which day it is to be exact, because
It's not emphasized.
it doesn't have it doesn't have a huge impact on the league, and to me, how the NBA they could even manufacture all the some stories because of all the hot takes and all the stuff that's going on here. I remember now Austin Rivers went viral with his video about the highlight culture and all of that stuff, but it's a little bit different topic. However,
that video was great. Though.
That video was great. That video was great, and I remember we talked also about that in one of our pods. But to me, if you are taking just one regular season, any average regular season EuroLeague game is more interesting to me than any game in the in the NBA, because of a lot of big number of those games. Like we said, for example, I don't know, Hornets, Rockets. Let's say they play on Sunday, and I believe there was a tweet from the EuroLeague that this EuroLeague this year is by far the most competitive, not only because of the standings, but the point differential of how the games end. Like there was 60 something percent of games finish with less than 10% difference, 10 point difference, 60 or 70%. So you can basically you tune in and it's going to be a close one, because less than 10 points means that you're probably going to have the game decided in the last 3 or 5 minutes. So but playoffs for me also, as Rytis said, NBA playoffs, the best product and best players, best skills. You can see all the tactics. Because it's a 7-game series, teams have time to try different tactics and then stay with one or the other. Whereas in EuroLeague, 5 games, 40-minute, 5-game series, 40-minute games. There is not that much time maybe to try new things, because
we only get one series.
And you only get one
after that
series.
Is Final Four.
Yeah, so NBA playoffs is probably the best product of basketball there is. Even though World Cup or the Olympics is also really, really close in my personal list.
And I agree with what you said. It's just the fact basketball has layers to itself, if I can say it. And we live inside of our own bubble of basketball geeks and freaks and hardcore fans that want to study Scariolo's playbook and want to see what move Sharas will do after this timeout. But the majority of the followers they're excited by dunks, blocks, spectacular plays, game winners, Ja Morant finishing and one midair. This is what gets them excited. And obviously, NBA is a highlight machine. EuroLeague, not necessarily. I think EuroLeague is mainly for those basketball geeks that want to watch 40 minutes of tough basketball, coaches making in-game decisions, players hustling and all that stuff. And another thing,
Question
About Sharas as
by
well.
others about Sharas as well. If Sharas does not win the EuroLeague this season, you think he leaves Barca? If so, where would you like to see him? I would love to see him at Pana to sort out the current mess.
I think it's a short answer. Like I don't think it only depends if Barca wins EuroLeague or not. Because of the single elimination and all the other teams, I think it will, if they get to the Final Four and they lose in the Final Four, it will depend if they win ACB or not. If they win the ACB but don't win the EuroLeague, I think he still stays. And I don't see...
I think it depends on the market situation. For example, if Xavi Pascal is returning to the EuroLeague and if he's available, I would easily see Barca trying to hit him because he's a former Barcelona guy. So
Okay.
I think when you think about the coaching change, you always have to think, okay,
About the market
if I
options.
have better options on the market. So some coaches, I don't see Pablo Laso coming to Barca, for example, but there might be some movement in the coaching department. So I think it's also related to that. And to answer the second part of the question, I would love to see him in